Hi DIY doers and welcome to my workshop. So in this video today I'm going to show you how to make a lovely card just like this one. And I'm actually going to show you how you can write with your Cricut as well. So we're going to cut out all the pieces for this card with our Cricut, and then we're going to assemble it and make a matching envelope for it. You can find the link to the Cricut Design Space project in the description below. Okay, so let's get started. So over on Design Space, okay, so I just opened Design Space and I opened our project that we're working with. Now with this project, I've made two cards. So we've got a blue card here and a green one. So you don't get confused and things, I'm just going to hide this green card. So this is the green card. So group, and we're just going to hide them. Hide these leaves, hide the dolly and the card. And that must be that circle. So the blue one is unaffected. And I'm just going to click on this one and we'll hide that one too. And these two are our envelopes. Okay. So we're just going to work with the blue one just to simplify it a little bit. Okay, so with this blue one, you can go in and change whatever color you want it to. So if we go to this little arrow here and it brings down what's actually in this group. So there's a score line here and our rectangle card base. So we can actually change the color of that to anything that we want. So say I wanted to make a purple card, we can change it to purple. Whatever you do on Design Space, say you wanted to make a purple card, you don't actually have to go in and change all the colors in Design Space if you don't want to. I like to do it because it gives me an idea of what the final project's going to look like. But if you just say, oh, okay, so all the light blue is going to be light purple, so I'll put that paper in the Cricut, and all the dark blue is going to be dark purple. You can do that. The Cricut's not going to tell you, oh, you've got the wrong coloured cardstock in your machine. So this project you can actually customize whatever you want. Say you wanted a pink doily, you can make it a pink doily. For this project, I might actually change the middle bundle of flower. So this would be the middle one. I'm just going to change that to dark blue. I just think it gives it a little bit something extra. And over here is actually the inner piece of the card. So this is what you would typically write on. So you can actually get your Cricut to write on the insert of the card. I have terrible handwriting, so yeah, I use this feature quite a lot. So I actually have to make a card for my auntie. I think she's 106 or 107 this year. So I'm going to create this card for Auntie Sophie. So you'll notice it'll spin around so you can actually see what you're writing. So after you get what you want to write, you can resize it and put it where you want it. You can also highlight by clicking and dragging. You can highlight both of these, and we can actually, oh, I can't align, maybe because it's in a group already. So we can actually detach it. So we've still got them both highlighted, and then we can press align and we can press center. So now our words are going to be directly in the center, left, right, up and down, and then we can just press attach again. So you got to make sure you press attach, otherwise the Cricut won't know that you want the words on this piece of cardstock. It might put the words on a different piece of cardstock. So that's why you need to attach it. Another thing with the words, you want to have the operation for pen and the writing, the style as writing. So we've got regular text and writing. That will make sure that the Cricut knows that it's supposed to do the pen action. And you can make sure that it knows to draw these letters by the action under here, and it will cut the card. Okay, so we've got that ready to go. Now the other, I'm just going to hide this one, there we go. The other section is the envelope. So with the envelope, it has a drawer, so you can type your address and things in here. Also, this attach is the scoring lines, so you know where to fold the envelope, and also the basic cut, so it'll cut around the envelope. Now with this envelope, you do need a relatively large piece of paper. I'm pretty sure it won't fit on a normal mat size, so you will need to have one of the larger mat sizes if you want your Cricut to cut this envelope out. So once you have your design the way that you want it, we can just press make. So I'm going to be using a mat. Actually, I'm going to select multiple ways. Okay, so we're going to press on a mat, and then this will just be a small mat. Now I'm just going to move this over ever so slightly. So that's our doily. Our next mat is just our inner circle of our flower. And then on a mat. Now if you did want to, You could go back and change this dot to say green, and you could have your green cardstock going down this way, so you could put your leaves there and then have a piece of yellow stock on this side, a piece of yellow cardstock on this side, and have your circle cut out there. So you could cut multiple things on the one mat. If you're not confident enough to do that yet, don't do it. I think having the mats color coded by color is like a simpler way of breaking up your project, which tends to make more sense to people just starting out. But that is an option if you wanted to do that. So this one is on a mat, but my cardstock won't actually fit all of this. So I'm actually going to move this to a new mat. So that's one, and then I'll just bring the other one. So move object to this mat as well. And then I'll move it up there. And then this one can be on a mat. I'm pretty sure I've got a big enough piece for that. Okay, so once everything is on a mat and ready to go, we'll go up to the top. So we will need to load our white paper up first. So I'll come to my desk. So when you're cutting with cardstock, you would want to use a light grip mat. So they're normally the light blue colour. I do have these, which is a yellow colour, but they're a light grip mat as well. So we would want to put our white piece of paper in the orientation that it is on our design space. So if I put my paper here in Cricut design space, I'm actually going to cut half of the sentiment off. So you want to make sure where you put your paper is where it says on design space. And then we can get our roller, make sure it's rolled flat and stuck to the mat. And now on Cricut Design Space, we can press continue. Okay, so today I'm using 216 GSM cardstock. So I'm going to click on medium cardstock, and I'm going to say remember this setting, because I'm using that for all of my cardstock is the same. And so it tells you what you need to load first. So this, we need a black pen, and we need the fine point blade, which is already in the machine. Okay, it is a terrible day here. It's very dark and rainy and stormy. So the lighting's not the greatest, I'm sorry, but you should still be able to see. So this is a Cricut 0.4 if my camera will focus. There we go, 0.4. And that's what Design Space said we needed. So I always like to take the cap off, put the cap on the top, otherwise I lose the cap. And then it's got a little diagram here, and that kind of shows you where or how far to push the pen in. So the pen goes in clamp A, so we'll just open clamp A, and I always hold the bottom of the clamp and then push, and then there we go. And then close the clamp, and then your pen is ready to go. Okay, so now we've got our mat with our paper on it, and I always push it up against this roller, make sure that that is hard up against it, and then have a little pressure at the back of the mat, and then press load. And now we just press play. So once it's finished all the letters, it will now start cutting out the doily and then the insert of the card. Okay, and the project is finished. Well, this mat is. Always monitor your project while it's cutting. And if you find that your paper is tearing or things, you might have the wrong setting, so the wrong paper card setting. You might need to go a little bit higher. If you find that, so you might need to go a little bit higher, more pressure to cut your paper. Another reason could be your blade might be blunt. So look at your blade, or it could have debris from your previous cut. So you can always take your blade out. So if we just release B clamp, and we can take our blade housing out, and if we just push the plunger down just a little bit, you can actually see your blade and if it's okay. If you do find there's shrapnel on there, you can actually just poke it into a ball of alfoil, and that cleans it. It does not sharpen your blade, it just cleans it. If you do need to sharpen your blade, I just recommend getting a new blade. They're not overly expensive. So your blade could be the problem as well. If you've just changed to a new blade and you still find there's tearing on your paper, try just heating up your paper a little bit. Sometimes paper, when it sits there for a while, it can absorb moisture, and when it absorbs the moisture, it gets quite soft. So sometimes I actually put my paper, if I find it keeps on happening, I actually put my paper under my heat press. So I've got my heat press here. So I just have I just put my paper here on the tray, push it down. Don't let the heat press go down onto the paper. You just want to heat it just a little bit. You can also use your oven as well. Just put it on a tray and put it in your oven. You don't need it super hot. It's just enough heat to dry out the paper. Okay, so that's a little couple tips if you do find your paper is tearing. So now this mat's done, so we press the unload button. And now we always flip our mat over to the reverse side and then just gently peel the project away from the mat. Bending the mat and not the project. That way your cardstock will stay nice and flat. Ta-da! And now the leftover pieces here, you can use your scraper tool and then just gently get underneath these pieces and then just scrape them to the top of the mat, just like that. While I do this, I'm going to put my next mat in. So we've got our yellow circle for the flower. So I've got my piece of yellow cardstock on the mat, and we're just going to feed that through just like before, holding the mat in, pushing the mat all the way onto the left roller and lining it up, having some pressure, and then we can just press load. And press play. Now, because I did do that, remember this setting, that's why I didn't have to choose what paper I was using again. If you're using different types of paper, different thicknesses, by all means choose what you're using and then load your mat. And that was very quick. It's all done already. Press unload. And we'll take it over to the table and we can do the exact same. Getting quite a lot of pieces of paper everywhere. But we'll do the exact same, flip it over and peel the project away from the mat, just like that. So our next mat is all ready to go, and each time I've just lined up the piece of paper, then I've brayed it on or rolled it on, and then we just go and load our mat into the machine. And then press play. And we unload. See, it's cut. Take it over to our work table and just gently peel the cut away from our mat. Now, especially dealing with paper, you want to go quite slow. And if you find that your paper is really sticking to your mat and you can't get it off, it's probably a new mat. even if it's not a new mat, I always get the new mat and put it up against my jumper or shirt or whatever I'm wearing and give it a big hug, and that just takes some of the really stickiness away. Okay, so now we have to do our envelope, which is the big long mat. So this is the big long mat. See, it's pretty much two of these little ones joined together. So we'll grab our piece of paper. Now I always line it up, make sure that this line is straight and this line is straight. And we'll brayer this on. Now with this being the longer mat, I actually have to move my Cricut a little bit closer. So I've moved my Cricut a little bit closer because the mat does feed through the Cricut and back out. So you want to make sure it has enough room behind the Cricut. Okay, so these larger mats are a little bit harder to deal with, but same principle. Push it all the way into the left roller, have some push at the back of the mat and press load. And then we press play. So we had to put our pen in. So if you took your pen out, make sure you put it back in. But it's going to start writing first. Oh, okay. Sorry, it's going to do our scoring first. So we actually have to take it out, unload it. And we have to actually put our scoring stylus in first. So we actually go to edit tools because I don't have the scoring wheel. I've got the scoring stylus. Press apply. So we've got our stylus here. And now it's pretty much the same. You just undo clamp A, take the pen out. And we put our scoring stylus in. Make sure you hear a click. And now we can load our mat again. So yeah, if that does happen to you, that's how you fix it. And now we can press play. Okay, now it's finished its scoring. So we just have to change to our pen because that's next. It will tell you on Cricut Design Space. So we undo clamp A again, take our scoring stylus out, put our pen back in, close the clamp and then press the play. Okay, so we have all our pieces to glue onto our card. Now, for those that are new to card making, where the score line is, you fold away from the score line. And I'll get my little scoring tool. We'll just make that fold. So this is the base of our card. So what we want next is our face of the card, and we're going to put this onto our base. Just like that. With some glue. Now, if you have some good glue, you don't need a lot. So just, if you have trouble getting this center, it's always good to stand over your project so you get a nice view of all sides. You want top and bottom and sides. And that looks pretty good to me. And now we want our doily piece. So you'll actually notice that one side has raised cuts and the other side is flat. You want the flat side, and we're going to put that down. So I like to pretty much so say that's half, I'll go one up from that, and we're going to glue it there like that. So I'm going to glue this side first, and then I'll flip the card over and then we'll glue this side. If you try and do it all at once, you can find that the doily rips or it bubbles when you go to open the card. Okay, so once you've got enough glue, just line it up. And then we'll flip it over, add glue to this side. And press. Now you can actually put something heavy on this so it presses nice and flat for you. I'm just going to set this aside. See how we've got that nice fold there in the doily? If you do it a different way, I always got bubbling, or the doily wouldn't unfold properly. So I'm just going to set this to the side and put my block on there, just like that. And while that's drying, we can assemble our flower. So this is just 3 layers, and I just put some glue around the center. And then make sure you line up the circle, and you want it offset. And with glue, it's always good because you've got that wiggle room. And there we go. And then same with the top. Golly gosh, I've got a huge big thunderstorm outside. I do apologise if you can hear all my windows rattling and squeaking. It's just from the wind. And we'll press that down and then add our little dot. Now you can, if you wanted to, now curl these petals so it gives it more dimension. You can use a quilling tool if you wanted, and just put the little petals and then give them a little curl so it gives it more dimension. So same with the envelope. You want to fold away from the score lines. Now this is the top and this is the bottom. Notice the bottom only comes up to around about there. So we only really want to put glue from there down. And then the same with the other side. And then we press down. And I'm going to set this to the side with a heavy object on it. Okay, now we can add our flower and our leaves. So you can have these sticking off the card if you like. If you do that though, it may not fit into the envelope. So it's up to you. But you could put the flower anywhere you wanted. You can put it over to the side here, in the middle, to this side, up here, wherever you like. I do like having the leaves opposite. I just like that look. So I'm just going to glue this down. I do like it overlapping all the layers as well, because it kind of ties all the layers together. Now if you did roll your petals up, you can just put a little bit of glue around the center. If you didn't, however, you can put a couple pieces of glue. I'm not going to roll my petals up, as this is going to sit in an envelope and travel halfway across the world, so it's going to get flat. Okay, and last but not least, we'll open it up and we'll add our sentiment. Now to personalise this card even more, you could add a sentiment on the front. So you could say best wishes, or with sympathy, or happy birthday, or whatever you're using this card for. I'm actually quite lucky because I've got I stand while I craft, I don't sit, so I don't have to get up to make sure it's all centered. I just found that I moved around a lot when I was crafting. And yeah, when I made this craft room, I just said, you know what, I'm gonna make everything so I'm standing, because I move around a lot when I craft. Okay, and that is the finished card project. Cute little envelope and cute little card. And as I said, you could do a little sentiment there if you wanted to, or you know, across the flower. It's totally up to you. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe for more Cricut tutorials. I hope you guys have a craftastic day, and I'll see you in the next one.